the masses entertained.
I can keep the masses entertained, yes. What time does the next show start?
I'm getting this stuff right now, so just ask everyone at home if they can hear you okay.
Please give a thumbs up if you have good audio for today's broadcast. Sponsored by Fishing the DMV.
Of course it's sponsored by me, it's what you...
I should mention our sponsors, which are Super Blue Stuff. The month of February, Patreon members get 20% off their entire order. They have a new product. It's called Super White. And that is the same product without dyes or fragrance. We're down in Augusta County at the Fishing Expo today. We have had some network issues, which is limiting our ability to do walk-arounds, so we are working to do private interviews where we have great link up to our network.
Asking the reason I'm talking about this today, or this time, is because I just recently
No, I am
got
not used
asked
to
this
being in front of a
question back
camera,
to the booth.
and nor do I know what to talk about.
I bought a rod and reel. I like it. It feels good, but I can't keep fish on. They won't stay on. I keep losing fish. I get aggravated. I get upset with myself. What action is the rod?
We have a great turnout here today
rod
due to the very frigid weather outside.
with a fast tip.
Come down and see us. We're open until 5:30
So
today,
basically,
and again
he had a
tomorrow
broom
until
handle
9 to 3.
that would bend about that far, and that's it. When a
Please
fish comes
comment
up
if you're
behind that bait,
watching and
that bait's
mention
going
what
through
you
the
would
water,
like
fish
to
comes up behind it.
hear about from
If he
this
grabs
expo.
it, you don't have to give him the who-done-it flipping stick smack. All you got to do is put a little pressure against him because he's going to hook himself. What you don't want is too stiff of a rod. I like a medium heavy with a moderate action. I want that. Because in order to hook a fish on a crankbait,
That's live now, right?
if you got too stiff of a
That?
rod and you
Yeah.
set the hook even the slightest little bit, you've been on the boat fishing,
so
you've
are
been
you.
on the bank fishing,
Any
you've been
fans
there half a
talking to
day
you
and
yet?
you ain't
No.
even smelt the fish. Finally one of them grabs it, you're gonna get that
Talking, they
antsy,
probably
I gotta
gone,
get him in here feeling.
Next.
If
That's
you
not
got the
true.
right
They
rod
love
for
you.
your setup,
You're doing a good
you
job.
can give him that little extra just because you're mad because you ain't caught a fish all day, and you're still not gonna
So
lose
who's
that
coming
fish
on at
because
3 o'clock?
basically
We
gonna
got
hook
Ricky
himself
Fulk. Ricky
with the
Fulk
right
is gonna be
action.
coming on. He is somewhere. I think he's right over there at that booth. So at 3 o'clock,
Do not-
he's going to be coming on.
do not grab
right
the
now,
hooks,
we
grab
have
the bait.
our guest on right now.
That's all you need right there. You feel me pulling on you? Okay. That is all you need to set the hook on a fish.
If
with
you
a
want to
crankbait.
move, you can. You don't have to. Like,
Because
you're looking
you
at me
got
like
the
you're
right
in
action.
punishment.
You got the right action.
Sorry about that,
rod.
guys. Give her a round
So
of
for
applause. She was
crankbaits
doing the
and
best she
medium
can.
heavy, moderate action. How many of you know what a chatterbait is? How many of you throw a chatterbait? I'm gonna show you something brand new when seminar's over. I'll take you to the booth where these are sold. Last month at the Richmond show, this design bait was the grand champion. It's a brand new design by a company that I pro staff for. They're out of Richmond. It's a chatterbait with an underhead spin. Now they come with skirts on them. I don't throw skirts on them. This is my fluke that I actually make myself. The crankbait, the fish has how many chances to get hooked? 6. How many chances does he have with that? 1 chance, right? For this bait here, do I want to use a real flimsy rod? Because when he comes up and grabs that bait, I got to give it to him a little bit. Because I got one heavy wire hook that's got to get in his mouth. So for this, now it's still a moving bait just like a crankbait is. You still throw it out, wind it back. But you got less hooks. He's gonna basically hook himself on that. You don't need that real stiff rod. Or you don't need that real limber rod with this. You need a stiffer one. This one here, you can leave this booth and go right back there to that Ranger boat. These rods are back there. These are all Douglas rods. This rod is a medium heavy fast. When you go to a tackle store or you go someplace, you pick a rod up and you read on there, it says medium heavy fast tip. How many of you think that the fast tip means how fast it comes over? How fast it comes over. Is that the way it is?
Yeah, sometimes. Most of the time.
It's actually not. Fast, moderate tip, slow, moderate, fast, and extra fast.
And then we got a really good
It
question.
is not
here
how
from,
fast
Timmy
the
Sharon.
tip
What
comes
time's
over.
Expo today? I believe
It's how
it is
fast
over
it goes
at,
back to its regular
5 p.m.,
position.
guys. Expo ends
So
at
if you've
5
got a
p.m. tonight,
moderate
so
rod,
come
just
on
like
out
that one,
and say hi.
if you
Again,
got
5
one with a
p.m. is when it
moderate
kinda-
flex, what I like to
goes.
call a 70-30, you can bend that rod a lot further and it takes it slower to get back to its original position. If you got an extra fast rod, about this much is going to be tipped and it gets back to its original position faster. So extra fast means stiffer tip. A lot of people think extra fast means that it bows over faster, but that's not it. It's actually backwards of that. So moving bait, chatterbait, single hook. That's what you got to remember. That's most important about this is single hook. You need something that's you're gonna be able to give it to him. Now, this is a medium heavy with a fast tip. I don't very often throw chatterbaits on this setup. This just happens to be the one that I got out of my boat. I've got a medium heavy with an extra fast that I throw chatterbaits with. This rod I use for skipping a jig under docks. That's why I need a little bit more tip, because naturally rolling it. So I want you to grab that bait. Don't grab the hook, please, grab the bait. There you go. Now see, I can, see? And you can tell I give you more force than I did with that rod, with the crankbait rod. Spinning rods. Everybody starts out throwing a spinning rod, and it's the most hated rod on the market. Because when you flip the bail over, if you don't have your line on there right, all of a sudden all your line falls right off on the ground. Gets a lot of line twist, a lot of this. Now, I do not throw anything heavier than a 1/4 ounce on a spinning rod. I know guys that do, I don't. All of my spinning rods, and you go right to my bass boat and open my rod locker, all of my rods in there, they're all medium action. This part, they're all medium action, but I've got slow. This is a slow tip. That's a jig that I make. I make the jig, and if you want to buy the trailer, comes from this guy right here. He's got them down there in bags. If that doesn't look like a crawfish, I don't know what does. But anyway, when you're throwing a lightweight, bait like this, you need a lot of this. You need a lot of that for casting distance also. And don't worry about, you know, everybody says, oh, that's a spinning rod. That ain't, you can't do anything with a spinning rod. I have caught 6-pounders on a drop shot with a spinning rod, and I've give it to them, Jack. I mean, I've give it to them. I use fluorocarbon line, doesn't have any stretch in it. Monofilament stretches a certain amount. Fluorocarbon does stretch, but it doesn't stretch as much. But I have give it to them and caught them. So for people say, oh, you know, weenie rods and stuff like that, They just don't know what they're doing, basically. So we got a cranking rod, is a, come on, you've been paying attention. Cranking rod is a medium heavy with a moderate tip, right? Chatterbait, spinnerbait, medium heavy with a fast tip. Spinning rod, medium with either a moderate or a fast tip, depending on what you're doing with it. Moderate tip for a drop shot is perfect because they're gonna hook themselves. Fast tip for shaky head, jig, anything on the bottom, you need a little fast tip. You need a little bit more of that part. Any questions? Any questions? How about a flipping stick? Any of y'all, if you don't already, you're probably gonna sometime in your life. You're gonna go flipping into a heavy grass. You're gonna flip into a log. You're gonna do all that. I use a heavy. I'm not a tall guy. You see a lot of guys, Martin Villa back here, he's taller than I am. You see a lot of guys using, all the rage is 7'4", 7'6". I'm 5'11". I'm not using a 7'6" rod because the 7'6" rod, I can get the same action in a 7-foot rod and I've got better control of it. I don't have time to control one that's 7 foot 6 inches long. It's just too much. So my flipping stick is a 7-foot heavy action, extra fast tip. It's like a broom handle. When one of them bites it in a log, I'm gonna do two things on the hook set. I'm gonna get the hook in him, and I'm gonna get him out of where he's at. Because his first instinct is gonna go back to where he was. I don't want him to do that. I want him to come in the boat. So, spinning rods, medium, moderate, or fast, depending on what you're throwing. Crankbait, medium heavy, moderate action. Chatterbait, spinnerbaits, any kind of moving bait, single hook baits, medium heavy with a fast tip. Got it? So now when you go to buy a rod, you got to think about what? What am I going to do with this rod? What's this rod going to be for? Am I going to go, do I want one that will do it all? Yep, perfect. Medium heavy with a fast tip. That will do anything you want to do. You can flip with it. You can throw a crankbait with it. You can throw a spinnerbait with it. You can throw swim jig with it. And if you get good at it, how many of y'all can skip with a bait caster? You can skip with a bait caster? Are you talking about flipping? Or are you talking about roll casting and skipping it? Yep. I'll tell you something about skipping with a bait caster. Now I'm gonna show you this to get you started. It's the way I learned it. You got two controls on the bait caster. This one here, you tighten all the way down and leave it. This is your drag system. This regulates the force it takes to pull that spool out. This is your braking system. Get you a bait caster, get you a good rod. Now, when I say a good rod is what you can afford. The bait manufacturers, the rod manufacturers, they're gonna tell you, you gotta have a $500 rod. You do not have $700. I fish tournaments for money. I work a full-time job. It ain't the only thing I do, trust me. I've got a full-time job. But I fish tournaments for money. I don't have a $300 rod. I'm not gonna have a $300 rod. This rod right here is $80 right today, right back there. So, get you one you can afford. Bait casters anymore, they're all the same. They got a braking system, they got a cast control, and they've got a tension knob. Or what I just say it was? Yeah. When you want to skip a bait caster, first of all, you need about that much line out. Now you need to be somewhere elevated. You ain't gonna skip too much from the bank. When you start skipping, there's numbers on this dial. You take that dial and you put it on 10, okay? When you put that dial on 10, you hang your bait on it and you drop that bait and you stop it. This is your cast control. This side gets the bait out there. This side slows it down at the end of the cast. If you don't have this tight, when you're learning to skip a bait caster, if you don't have that tight, you're gonna have a big ball of line right here and you're gonna get a pair of scissors and you're gonna cut it out and you're gonna have to.
And then guys, please drop a comment down below. Please let me know if there's any questions or anything specifically you would like to see here at the Augusta County Show. As always, we are battling the internet here. That's why I'm here to kind of be here to pop in and out to make sure things go well. The main setup right here is connected to Starlink. The separate computer is not. So yeah, just bear with us here as we get through everything. We are offline. Refresh. So, but yeah, guys, it's been a really good show here, honestly. I really have enjoyed my time here. Absolutely packed. This was actually the biggest crowd they've ever had at the Augusta County Show. Huge shout out to you guys for everything that you guys have done. Absolutely been a blast.
I want to make a roll cast, and when I release it, I want that rod tip lower than my hand.
But please drop a question down below. Please let me know that you guys.
Everything else is done with my thumb. So I want about that much line out. I want to roll it and I want to release it as close to the water as I can. I want my rod tip lower than my hands. And if I had a dock and a bunch of water in front of me, I would really, it would do a lot better for me to show you how to do that. Because skipping a soft plastic bait on asphalt, concrete, it's going to stop. So, any other questions? Any more questions?
Teach him how to not catch trees.
No. I can't do that because I still do that. Every now and then you get in a hurry and it happens. Now, I do hook trees that are more in the water. I used to catch them, the trees that were up here. Yeah. That, yeah.
I caught it. One time I got my fishing line in a tree, but it was in the water, but it was pretty up high. It was at least, I'm surprised it was even higher.
All right, guys, we're going to do something right here. Drop a comment down below, ask a question for our
it
guest
happens.
Here, and we will get
What'd
that
you do,
answered for
break
you.
it? Or did you get it back? Broke it, yeah. That happens.
One time our river got so low that my mom and dad on their wedding, they drove their a full
All across the river? Mm-hmm. I've done that in a pickup truck. I've made a mess in a pickup truck with it. It is now. It is now. It's cold.
one of our neighbors that lives at
I didn't know that.
our at our farm, they send us a video of them walking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, guys. I'm going back to the booth and get to work. If you go down there and go about halfway down that aisle, not all the way to the wall, but halfway down, I'm down there if you want to come down and talk and swap stories and go get you, go over here and get you. Go over and get him a rod like this.
No, I got, yeah, Mom.
All right.
He needs more, though. I need
Get you.
You never have enough. Yeah, you can never have enough rods.
Yes, you can.
Well,
Because my boat, my tackle rod locker ain't so big on my boat. But I've got a pile of them in the basement. They learned it's better to get hung on a tree in the water than it is on the way up there.
Yeah, that is actually, I'm not gonna lie, that is very sound advice there, guys. So anyway, we're going to take a quick little commercial break, and then we're going to be back with our next guest. And again, our next seminar is going to be at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. we have Martin Villa. He's going to talk about advanced bass fishing techniques for Virginia. Again, 3 p.m. today, Martin Villa. Please go check him out. So far,
Everybody, just let you know, snack bar will be closing at 3 o'clock. Snack bar will be closing at 3 o'clock.
there you have it. Snack bar is closing at 3 o'clock, guys. So please come on out, come say hi. We have our next seminar is going to be at 3 p.m., but don't worry about it. We have a special guest coming on for an in-person interview here. We're going to go to a quick little commercial break, a little countdown clock. Please do not go away, and we'll be right back here on Fishing the DMV. That up. Perfect. All righty. All right, how are we doing today, guys? Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Augusta County Show. This is actually the best turnout they've ever had in the history of forever. So huge shout out to them. I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Ricky Fulk, to talk about life, about what he's been up to in his escapades, and about a little bit about Tiger Crankbaits. So first off, dude, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah. Just, coming off of coming back from nationals and, having a pretty good time up there and then qualifying for it down on the James at the qualifier. And yeah, that place was a blast. A lot of people, this is probably the first time anybody's talked to me about this, about the qualifier that got me to nationals. And, I was catching 50 to 60 bass a day. And I was fishing 2 creeks, and I was way off the grid. It took me 2.5 hours to troll in one creek and 2.5 hours to troll out. And the other one took me a little over an hour to get in and an hour to get out. But yeah, because they had a camera boat down there running around on Friday, and they could never find me. And that's because I was off the grid. So, but no, it was day one. I didn't have nobody paired in the boat with me. I was single. I had 14.7 on day one. Had a little over 16 pounds on day 2. And then third day, I had a little over 13 pounds. And so I qualified for nationals, and then if anybody remembers, a long time ago, I used to fish with Jeff Luger, and Jeff made nationals. So we actually got to stay together as old buddies, fishing together for 20 years and fishing nationals, you know, separate. And up at La Crosse, Wisconsin, and that place is it's kind of like leaving Osborne, and when you're going upriver, you have the wing dams sticking out. Well, all the way down La Crosse, you have wing dams everywhere. Even you just had to watch. I mean, there was a lot of lower units got popped and props got busted, but I did pretty good as far as never being there before, and ended up day one I had a limit, but I did something kind of silly that morning. We had a delayed flight, so here I am mixed in with 250 boats, and here I am standing on the trolling motor, and I burnt about half my trolling motor up that morning before blast off, which I never do. Normally I get behind the boat, get behind the steering wheel, and just stay out with the big motor, but I got wedged in 250 boats, and it was hard to get out. So I had to stay on the trolling motor and cut my day short that day. I had a late flight, and my day was over at 11:30, and I only had 4 keepers.
So for everyone, because I did see a comment that popped up here about this, let's do a quick 5-second backup. How did you qualify for this event? When was this event? Just so we can kind of lead into the storytelling.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got probably a little bit too far ahead.
No. I got intrigued to it too.
Yeah.
I like that area.
Yeah. No, the qualifier was on the James, and it was in the first part of June.
Okay, June last year. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then Nationals was just like three and a half months ago, up in Wisconsin.
November?
October.
October. Okay.
October. Yeah, and so the fish, one of the they had 4 qualifiers throughout the United States, and each qualifier, like the one at the James, they only took the top 13. Because the field at Nationals is 250. So it was 250 of the best fishermen in the United States through the Bass Nation and the qualifiers. And out of that 250, they took the top 3, went directly to the Classic. So, and if you notice at Gunnersville right now, Nick Trim is doing very well because he made the elites. And he will be fishing the Classic because of winning national.
Oh, wow.
So,
and like you said, because it ties us up to where we are in the story. This was your first time to the back part of the Mississippi River, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Your first day, did you practice at all?
Yeah.
Your first day of practice, what was that like being there? Just your first like absorbing that area in that fishery?
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, it was grass everywhere.
Really?
I mean, it was. You had that weed grass sticking up through milfoil, and you had to. And I tell you, if you ever go there, definitely have a good mapping chip that will help you get through this place, because if you would have went up there blind, I don't think you'd have made it that far.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean the grass, I mean it's thick. I mean, and then you have these little wing dams, and and see, my mapping showed all the wing dams, so that's why I never tore nothing up. But then again, I didn't run like a wild Comanche up there either, not never being there before. But yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, the fish you caught, if you was to hit La Crosse at the right time of the year, it's frog heaven. I mean, if you love to throw frogs, and we were on the tail end. I mean, there were still guys catching them on top water, but the temperature affected us, and 30 and 40 mile an hour winds, and second day of the tournament, air was 18 degrees. You could sit behind your steering wheel and watch your front deck just start freezing. I mean, yeah, my whole deck of the boat was solid white even before blast off. So,
before we get into the tournament, question that came over on Instagram. When you are in a place like that or a part of the James River that you've never run before, shallow, how do you navigate it? How fast do you run? Do you do anything differently when you're just trying to get a vibe for the place?
Yeah. If you've never been on, like, we'll use James for example. Like, when you go into an area, and if you have mapping, what I normally do till I get myself a trail, a lot of times I'll just barely idle with my motor trimmed up when I go back into these creeks, because, everybody knows that when you see the water out and you see all these trees laying around, and some of them are at the mouths of these creeks, if you don't plot a trail through them trees, get around them trees to get back into these creeks, like chip oaks, there's a couple ways you can get in chip oaks, but if you go in the wrong way, you're going to tear something up. And so, it's good to have good mapping, but you just have to take your time in your practice days and your off days. If you go down to fish the James, just figure out how to get in these places, and just idle your way in. Once you get off the channel, set that boat down and idle in. Ward's Creek is another good one. There's a lot of structure laying out in front of Ward's Creek. But supposedly now to go into Ward's Creek, you got to go in the upper end, where you used to go in down below and shoot it in an angle, but I don't think you can do that anymore, which I haven't never done that. I've always gone in the upper side of Ward's Creek. And then when you get down in that area, I don't take a risk. I won't shoot the chute. I always go around that towards the Appomattox. You got guys that'll go across the sandbars. I'm not going to do that. But then, you take a lot of them guys that's been down there for years, they can shoot that flat. I'll just stay in the channels and figure out how to get into the creeks my way. And that's trimming my motor up and just easing in. That's how I would recommend going in to any creek off the James.
And then, guys, if you got a question you want me to ask Ricky, please let me know down below. Also, just drop a question like, how's the audio? You want me to raise it up, raise it down? Can you hear us okay? What's the max speed that you're running, like, on the Mississippi? Are you going flat out in practice, or are you kind of really cutting it?
I'm taking my time, mostly 40, 45 mile an hour, but I'm watching my mapping. I'm zoomed way in. And when you zoom way in, that cuts your screen down. So if you get going too fast, you can outrun your little boat on the graph. So I usually bring my zoom in, and then I just slow down. And
that gets the tournament. You said snow on the back deck.
Yep. Well, snow on the front and back deck. I mean, it iced up and it was cold. I mean, day one, we had 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. I think it was 20 some degrees that morning. So, and then in day two, I was just actually sitting behind the steering wheel, and you could see my deck just starting to freeze. And by blast off, it was solid white. But I mean, the guys still caught them. I mean, I was fishing the mouths of creeks is where I found my fish. But what I found up there in La Crosse was, if you were in the deeper water, because see, with all that cold front, them fish started moving out. And Jeff had been catching them back in the back, and he was still actually catching them on frogs. But I just didn't venture back there because I figured them fish back there would probably move out. So I stayed out towards the main river more, and I found probably 5 or 6 good areas. And day one, I had 4 fish in real quick. I mean, I had like 9 pounds and something with 4 fish. And then when my trolling motor went out, then that really hurt me. And there wasn't no way you was going to try to fish off a big motor, not up there. But I don't think you could have controlled it. But then day two, it was cold, and I think my fish just left me. I think because after weigh-in, I heard that a lot of guys that start catching them on the main end behind the wing dams. So, but Ryan Locknett, he did well, and he actually was fishing further up, close to. I think he didn't lock through. He locked through in practice, but then he came back down, and he stayed in pool 8. But he stayed in the upper end where I think I ran 28 miles. Because I went to the south end of pool 8.
Everybody's attention, snack bar will be closing at 3 o'clock. Snack bar is closing at 3 o'clock.
When you look back at that tournament, what would you have done differently?
After knowing what I know now, I probably should have found more areas of what I was catching my fish in, instead of trying to get further back, because I got stuck one time in one of the creeks. The wind was blowing so bad that it blew me up on a flat, and I actually had to strip down and actually get to the back of my boat and lift the back of my boat up and start walking it. And I walked it across the flat because you wasn't going to push it against that wind. And I actually walked my boat across the flat, and I think Jeff got stuck 2 or 3 times back in the backs. Oh yeah. Yeah. But it was a place that, you know, if you wanted to run wide open, as long as you stayed in the main channel, you were fine. But once you went back in them creeks, I didn't stay much up on plane because, you know, in them creeks, you don't know where a log's laying or anything. But, you know, there again, you know, I idled in and idled out, you know, got me a trail, and then I ran on plane coming out because I knew I wasn't going to hit nothing the way I was running. But no, and then I probably would have fished a little more time in the upper end of pool 8 instead of spending more time down in the lower part, because I think if you could have, because further up pool 8 the water was deeper, plus you had more docks. And see, basically I was just fishing deep creek channel banks and close to the edge of the grass. But man, I'm telling you what, if you want to go catch some pike, you can catch some pike on La Crosse, because I can tell you, for every bass, I probably caught 5 pike.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was pike heaven.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a bunch of them.
What was the water temperature like?
Water temperature was in the high 40s, low 50s in that tournament. But it was weird. I mean, they would eat a chatterbait is what I was catching most of mine on, chatterbait, and I was cranking some, but what I found is chartreuse and white with a gold blade for some reason worked for me. If it had a silver blade on it, I couldn't get bit. If it had white in it, or was chartreuse, but the baits that I like to throw down here, for some reason, they didn't want that style chatterbait. Black and blue was a good color. Green pumpkin, chartreuse and white, what I was throwing.
It seems a little cold to be chatterbait weather. Is that just because they're northern fish? I don't think 40 degrees and chatterbaits.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it had to do with being in the north with the fish. But, I mean, look what they're doing at Gunnersville.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this week, they're catching slow rolling chatterbaits down there, so, and catching fish. But no, not fishing up north and throwing chatterbaits that much. I don't know where they start biting the chatterbait at that time, but I know up there in that temperature, if you got around it, they crushed it. I mean, it was down in their mouth. It wasn't in the side.
What is your setup for a chatterbait?
My setup for a chatterbait is I like to cut my skirt off about a half inch behind the hook. And I have two trailers that I like to throw. One is an Ultra Vibe, and the other one is a Shimmer Shad. And sometimes I'll throw John Cruz's what is that hog?
Hog tamer, hog
Yeah,
trough.
hog. That what is that? Oh, Spunk Shad.
Missile, baits, spunk shad.
Yeah, I think it's a spunk. Yeah, that's it.
Spunk shad.
Yeah, spunk shad. That's usually a pretty good bait, but that's about the only three trailers I'll use. But to throw a spunk shad, the only time I'll throw that is if I'm skipping docks. So
Why?
It's just something about the spunk shad. I mean, that and the shimmer shad, it keeps the bait more tight. You don't like with the Ultra Vibe, you get more of a erratic wobble. With the spunk shad, there's nothing back there to break, so it pretty much just runs.
True.
More truer, because when you're skipping under docks, I mean, you got cross members and all that stuff, and you'll get hung up a lot. But so that's about the only time I use those baits is when I'm usually fishing docks.
Interesting. When do you switch to a spinnerbait, if ever?
Oh, I have one spinnerbait that I keep tied on all the time. It never comes off that rod, and that's always in my arsenal. I throw, and normally I don't throw a 3/8. It's half ounce all the time. I'll throw it on the Chick, the James. I'll parallel docks, floating docks mostly, like down on bugs. I prefer a spinnerbait over a chatterbait a lot at bugs.
That's a spinnerbait leg for some reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they love spinnerbait. But and fishing around wood a lot, I'll throw a spinnerbait over a chatterbait, because especially in stained water, you get more of that thump. So that's when you determine whether you're going to throw a chatterbait or a spinnerbait, is whether you need more vibration or you need less. Cleaner the water, I won't very seldom pick up a spinnerbait. Water's too clear, I'll stick with the chatterbait. That's just my preference. Everybody has their own, but that's just the way I like to use the difference between a chatterbait and spinnerbait. And normally, if I do throw a spinnerbait, it's going to be a chartreuse and white with blue in it.
Why blue?
I don't know. It's just, I can take that spinnerbait and, I mean, Jeff actually named this spinnerbait Money, because anytime I throw it and I'm on them, I mean, I'm usually going to cash a check or something like that, but it's something about that spinnerbait that I can take it in muddy water, clean water, and still catch fish. It's a Terminator, super stainless. I got a bunch of them because now they're hard to find. So hopefully I live long enough to use all of them that I have.
I'm glad we talked about that, because I think it's fascinating, like how, because of live scope and on the sorry everyone, because of live scope in the national scene, everyone's about the minnows and pinging a minnow and stuff. I get that, but again, because I cover regionally, it's interesting that last year the spinnerbait just won so much money for bigger tournaments like U-Fish, kayak, smallmouth tournaments. Everywhere the spinnerbait did well, and I think it's because of the water conditions. Like, we had a lot of rain from April to June. It felt like it just never stopped, and I think that did help favor that kind of technique, or different techniques like that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So, but like, I don't know. It's with that said, when would you consider a chatterbait, water temperature wise? Do you think it goes as low as 40 degrees?
Yeah, I think you can throw a chatterbait down in the low 30s. I really do. I think if you was to variate your speed, I mean, I believe you can catch pretty good in 30-degree water.
Mm.
I and I can't sit here and say that I have done it, but I can tell you I believe you can do it.
What do you got coming up this year?
This year I'm gonna be fishing the cat trails. And if everybody don't know, if I'm big into the high school kids now. It's my way of giving back. I got two boys, Caden Ryman and Thomas Newman.
Yeah, guys.
They've done already qualified again for nationals.
Well
they
done.
Yep, they went to Toho and finished 13th, qualified for nationals. So that kind of leaves us wide open this year to just go for it. You know, this year we don't have to worry because they've already made nationals, and Thomas is already committed to Wabash University. He's going there in the fall, and Caden still got one more year. So this will be an interesting year with the high school kids this year, and they're going to Santee because they've already signed up to fish there in the open. But yeah, I tell you, if you get a chance to fish with the high school kids, you wouldn't believe how much fun it is to just sit back and watch, you know, especially when these kids are having a good time, and, you know, the things I've seen after going to nationals with them at Clark's Hill. I mean, Bass takes care of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's super fun just to be a part of it.
They do a really good job for it. And what got you now? About 500 years ago, guys, when you first came on the show, we talked about this. This would be a little bit of reiteration, but what got you into the high school scene?
Well, you know, I after hanging around up there at Jake's Bait and Tackle, and, you know, getting to know Jared a whole lot, and you know, and he just said something to me. He said, "Have you ever thought about you know, being a boat captain for a high school?" I was like, "No." I said, "But I'd like to try it." So he got me into it, and I think the kids got me hooked more than the kids are hooked. I mean, you know, it's just fun to see, you know, kids getting excited. I mean, yeah, I've been around fishing, and I'm not saying I'm better than, you know, a lot of the other boat captains, but, you know, I took my experience and showed them some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
improved their fishing. I mean, I'll have to say this, that I was very proud of them too when they went to Toho and they did what they did, because what they did is that they learned from me of when the fishing is tough and you run around all over the lake and you're not catching no fish, and you pulled up on a spot and you caught 2 fish and then you got off of it. Them boys went back to that spot. They had 2 spots that they only caught fish at, and they stayed at the one spot all day. And that's how they qualified for nationals, because they knew from when we fished on the Chick, when I set the boat down and them boys caught 20 pounds and we never fired the boat up again till it was time to go in, they remembered that sometimes you don't have to run to catch fish. There's fish there where you're at.
Is that a lost art? Is that because of just the kids nowadays or technology or whatever? It's like you got to just keep running new water and never.
Yeah. And that's what I see today is I can set my boat down and I can hear boats running, you know, up and down the river. And, you know, there's still a true saying today, why leave biting fish to go catch fish that aren't biting? You know, just because, you know, and that's just like fishing the James. Everybody has a saying, run the tide, run the tide. Well, I never was a tide runner. I just knew places that I needed to be when the top water was at certain levels in order to catch fish.
Mm-hmm.
That don't always mean that you have to run the tide. You know, you might pull up on a spot and this spot might be good at high tide, but it's not good when the tide's going out. But you can I mean, I've run up the James and I've turned around and run right back down because I knew that the better fish was at a spot when the tide was completely out, because that's when they would bite, and they would get so far deep when the tide was so high that you couldn't catch them. So that's my thing about fishing the James and the Chick, is I have my little way of fishing it, and everybody else has their own way of fishing. But we'll see this year how things go, because I'm fishing the Cat Trail on the James this year, and all of them are on the James, and they start in March. So, plus, it's just something about the James, and I just like the James, and it's treated me well. You probably won't see me in the James until after middle of April. I'll probably fish in the Chick, because the bite is usually good there till right before the spawn, and then I'll go out in the James.
What do you think this cold weather is going to do to the James River?
This cold water,
Or this cold winter, I guess, because
This
it feels like
cold-
this is like the coldest winter we've
yeah.
had in a while.
If anything, I hope we don't have a big fish kill with all these creeks freezing up. And I could see that possibly affecting the James, because sun can't penetrate the ice, and fish need the sun in order to, live. So, hopefully there's not a big fish kill.
Fingers crossed there. I mean, cut down on the bugs. It's definitely going to cut down on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we shall see how that goes. If people want to follow you or anything you want to hype up right now, while I have you here. So, Tiger Crankbaits. What else new do they got?
Well, Tiger Crankbait's come out with this. We've been working on this probably for about a year and a half, and it's, like I said in the seminar, it's called the Harvey Hammer. But what's unique about this thing is, I played with it a lot, and it's a certain count. There's 22 strands in this skirt. Now, I'm a type of person that I like for my skirt to pulsate, but and putting your trailer on it too. But what I also like is this underspin, and a lot of people probably thinks it don't work, but I've tested it, and I've took pictures of it and filmed it underwater, so I know this thing works. And what's unique about it is, if you're bringing a chatterbait across the log, a lot of times your jackhammers or your chatterbaits want to roll over and then they hook the logs. This little thing right here is going to kick this bait up. When you hit a log, it's going to kick up.
I'm on it today. Always make sure you drink plenty of caffeine before you talk all day long. Here we go. There, that shows up nice and pretty.
Yeah, that little hanging down bar that's attached to that willow leaf, it'll actually kick off of cypress tree knees, logs, limbs, and it kicks the bait up. So an erratic move like that, a lot of times it'll trigger another fish to bite.
How do you decide the size of the willow leaf blade?
Well, that's pretty much fixed. It's not something you're probably going to want to change. We just found that combination works well together, and I put this on when I had the boys with me, and we were in an area where I did well in the qualifier, and when I put this on, the boys, and they were throwing the regular chatterbait jackhammers, and I was surprised at how much this thing was outperforming the jackhammer. I reckon it was just because it was something different they haven't seen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is better than a jackhammer, but I'll tell you, if you get the opportunity and you're around Tiger crankbaits, pick you one up and try them. I mean, it's something different, new, and it's new for this year. The fish haven't seen it, So you might be surprised how many more bites you get off of it.
And I think that's so important now in 2026, where having that little different look is so important to get a few more bites. Like, I think that's where we're at with fishing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't care what you're messing with in fishing. Everybody has this little nick that they do with every bait that they use. Everybody's got some kind of a, you know, a custom little deal or something that they want to do. You know, with a drop shot or a wacky rig, or, you know, however they rig stuff. And it's, you know, just figuring out how to do something different to put one more fish in the boat is what it's all about anymore. Just finding something different and something that works for you.
It really is. It really is. You know, with all that said, guys, go check out Tiger Crankbaits. They do a great job over there. They also got some hairy dice.
Yeah.
which,
Yeah. They got some, what they call their spider bites. And then they also come out with a new one. I think they just brought it out within the last 2 weeks. It's called the super bite, which the tentacles are longer. You can trim them up as much as you want, but the tentacles are pretty long. But
I'm going to go grab one. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah, grab both of them. But yeah, if y'all get a chance, go check out Jake's Bait and Tackle. From what I've been seeing, they've got a lot of new things in the store. But yeah, definitely. And all you kids out there, if you're looking to get into a fishing high school division, there's plenty of ways to get hooked up on that. You can talk with Jake up there. You can talk to Jared up at Jake's Bait and Tackle, or get a hold of your local Bass Nation director. But yeah, here's the spider bite. That's the spider bite. And they've even got them for the crappie bite. There's the crappie bite. But they got it in all assortments of colors and everything else. I don't see the. But yeah, they got one that's got super long tentacles on it.
So, one question that came through is, do you have experience throwing these dice, and how do you like to throw them?
Well, I like throwing these on a drop shot, and then also I found a hook, and instead of just taking a hook, you know, and stick a hook through, and then get you some nail weights and stick into each side of this on how fast you want these to fall, and you can hook them up. You don't even have to put them on a drop shot. You can just tie on a straight barb hook and hook the bait through it, and just countersink your nail weights into the plastic, and that'll adjust your fall. And they work.
They do, guys, and it's the same thing. I really think the magic behind like a jig, the skirt, is the same thing here. It's that pluming action, because when this thing drops through the water, and it's not super heavy, it has that movement.
Yep, it just looks like a bunch of tentacles, and I think it's just something new that the fish are seeing, and I think they just want to kill it.
Because with those things, they're so fine. Like, if a fish breathes on it, it'll undulate and move.
Oh yeah,
and I see this with smallmouth a lot, because you guys know up where I'm at in Western Maryland, we get highly pressured smallmouth. They will nose up to a bait before they hit it. And I think when they nose up to that and they can just see all those tentacles moving, they'll commit to it right away.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. I didn't have hairy cubes on my bingo list of something I would be throwing when I was a kid, but I mean, we're here now. So, and you're right, it works, dude. Like, it really is a difference maker in some of these events that you're seeing.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Japanese guys swear by them, and you know, It just us American people sometimes are just hard headed to get on the bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of them are now.
I think they are too. But dude, I really appreciate it. Yeah, where are you gonna be next? Or do you get a break?
Yeah, I get a break. Yeah. From Richmond to here, and then I think I'll be in Hopewell in 2 weeks. At
Oh,
the
is that
Hopewell-
tournament?
That's flea market.
Oh, flea market.
Yeah, but no, my first tournament, then I won't be on fishing my first tournament till March. That'll
Okay.
be on the James,
Early or late March?
early March.
Is the river gonna be frozen?
I'm not for sure. I
Yeah.
hope not.
Yeah, me too, dude. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to be back with our next guest. All right, we'll see you guys soon. See ya.
Uh-huh.
Hey everyone, quick little announcement here from Fishing in the DMV. Our Weekend Warrior Club membership on Patreon is now open to new members. All Patreon Club members will receive 20% off their orders to Tactical Fishing Company, 15% off their orders to Super Blue Stuff, 10% off their orders to Tiger Crankbaits, 5% off their order to Jake's Bait and Tackle. You'll also gain access to join 4 month-long fishing tournaments that I'm holding in 2026. Last year, I gave away over $8,000 in cash prizes, plaques, and just giveaways, including a couple of guided fishing trips with legendary anglers like SB Fishing and Ethan Stone, and I'm hoping to blow it out this year as well. You'll also gain access to our private Facebook group community, ad-free episodes of the show, and monthly fishing reports, especially for you smallmouth river anglers. I really try to keep you guys up to date on the flow gauges for the different rivers in our area. And there's so much more. As more sponsors come online in 2026, I'm going to increase the benefits to everyone. You get all of this for $8 a month, which is less than a megabass jerkbait or a jackhammer chatterbait. And I'll sweeten the pot. If you sign up for the whole year, I'll give you 15% off your membership. 15% off. Guys, this is just a way I can say thank you to everyone that helps support and keep this show going. Link in the episode description. Thank you so much.
left my little. That's right. I wasn't gonna say that, but since you brought it up.
over there. With the fish, I jerk it every chance I get. Come around here for a second. Come right here. We got you. Yeah, right there.
Sorry about that, guys. We had a little bit of an issue there, so I do apologize.
Let's see, we got Wave and watching live. Dude, exactly.
Who is supposed to be there?
You by yourself, Thomas? I am not by myself. I have my lovely mother. She's over in the corner right now while we're finishing up here. Carly is at home. She's working double shifts because, as you guys know, still have not been able to find a job, still gainfully unemployed. If anyone would like to employ me, please message me, fishingname@gmail.com. I love the idea of not going homeless. But anyway, going back to it here, guys, so this is day one of the Augusta County Show. Absolutely been fantastic so far. Had a lot of great guests on. Have a lot more great guests on tomorrow as well. We have one more big time guest coming on the show. A little adjustment in schedule, which is why I was away for so long, making sure that I got everyone dialed in for tomorrow. So the next thing that we're going to be doing here is we're going to be looking at the Bassmaster. All right, I want to see what the leaderboard is looking like right now. All right, here we go, guys. Let us take a look at the leaderboard. Shared screen.
Great deal starts here.
Wow. All right, we got Kyle Welcher here. 45 pounds. Sorry about the echo. There we go. Much better. Anyway, let's try that again. Dude, that looks 45 pounds. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Oh, dude, you're good. All right, guys. We have our... That's perfect. The power of perfect. All right, and that's pretty much got it in the shot, and we'll get it in the shot the rest of the way. All right, re-upload it. Boop, there. Miller Tech. People see it. People know it. People love it. All right, perfect. All right, sweet. Alrighty. Perfect. All right, can you hear me okay?
I got you.
Sweet. All right, let me do a little clap so I can sync up the old cameras for later. All right, guys, we are back here finishing up the good old Augusta County show. Again, this was the best event they've had so far. They had over, I believe they said over 1,200 people so far. They've crossed the doors. An amazing event. I'm here with another absolute local legend, and we're going to hear some stories. We're going to talk about some batteries. So, sir, if you could introduce yourself to everyone, who are you and what's your story?
Well, I'm Rick Williams. I was born in Richmond, Virginia, and that's still kind of my home. I live over in Sandston next to the airport. So I guess you could say James River and Chickahominy are my home bodies of water, you know. I remember fishing very, very young as a child, and there's just always been something about fishing in particular that has just drawn me to water. And I really can't put a finger on that, but it is what it is, man. I love it.
You had a really exciting tournament that happened this past year. Why don't you just, for everyone at home, kind of set the stage? What's the story before you got to the water? How did all that come to be?
Well, I have been wanting to move from the back of the boat to the front of the boat. And I'm going to tell you what, if to do it right, it's kind of a long walk. And what I mean by that is I was a co-angler for a very long time. And between the finances and the time off, it takes a great deal of both to be able to be functioning at a competitive level at the front of the boat. And I've had a lot of guys that have taught me a tremendous amount. And I went down to Okeechobee as a co-angler because I've never been. And I want to be able to fish that body of water comfortably out of my boat, tournaments, things like that. So it's kind of unique going down there. Never been to that body of water a day in my life. I've read about it, you know, did everything I could to learn all I could about it. And understood it was primarily a flipping, punching, you know, worm dragging kind of lake. And having Mother Nature show up and be as cold-hearted as she was, I'm going to Florida. I'm expecting shorts and flip-flops. Instead, it was rain gear and base layers of clothing and sweaters and hoodies. And the bass don't like it. Floridians don't like it. And from what I understand, the falling iguanas don't like it much either. So, but I did learn that is a very special place. Stayed at Roland Martin's place down there, and it's just so convenient, so nice. I can see so much potential on that body of water. And it really suits me and my style of fishing because I'm a grinder. I like dragging big plastics across the bottom. I like throwing plastics up in really tight spots up in the reeds. And unfortunately, the reed bite wasn't there, so I was able to catch my personal best in a tournament ever.
All I know is I am on my way. Where am I going? I don't know. What will I get? I ain't equipped to say.
Toyota trucks. Let's go places.
Insane.
Are you ready for a great offer on the most reliable outboards in the water? Then get to your Yamaha dealer now for the Ready for Reliability sales event. For a limited time, purchase a new Yamaha 30 to 450 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of Yamaha coverage protection free. And earn up to $200 in dealer credit on eligible 2.5 to 25 horsepower models. So get ready, because reliability and a great deal starts here.
It's that time again. Skeeter's Buy, Save, Fish sales event going on now until March 31st. Skeeter is offering rebates of up to $5,000 plus a $1,000 Tackle Warehouse gift card on new 2024 through 26 models, or your choice of Yamaha factory financing with rates as low as 3.79% for 72 months or 4.99% for 180 months. There's never been a better time to get into a new Skeeter, but this offer won't last long, so stop by your local Skeeter dealer today before this deal gets away. Skeeter. Eat, sleep, fish, dominate.
Because my legs back here carry a lot of grass in it and a lot of holes and things like that. So I'm looking for a small change. I'm looking for things that I can do.
I got one! Let's go, buddy!
I really didn't see that much of action, so I had to go back, fall back on my basics on what I know and kind of relearn everything, and then
Nitro, a rush of tournament adrenaline. Nitro, the choice of champion, where performance meets play. Nitro, a big water beast, a pure fishing machine. Nitro, release the champion within.
Is your trolling motor working for you, or are you working for your motor? Minn Kota Ultrex trolling motors are built to outmaneuver anything, so all you have to focus on is the bass. Steering with unrivaled precision from an ultra-responsive foot pedal, getting you to the fish day after day, and turning any spot into a stronghold season after season. Minn Kota Ultrex is built to fish.
It's more than a boat. It's a one-way ticket to Lunkerville. It's a reason for a 3-day weekend. It's a memory-making machine. It's a sunrise from the water. It's an adventure waiting to happen. It's a child's fishing 101 course. It's a new perspective on the outdoors. Because it's more than a boat.
Read the situation and let the fish tell you what they want versus having a predetermined notion of it. I think you have to be versatile whether you're in the front of the boat or the back of the boat. I think that's a key to it. And the changes I made between day 2 and day 1 were I eliminated a lot of tackle, and I stuck to pretty much 3 rods all day. One was dragging that Shinobi grub, another one was flipping a Senko, and another one was the speed Senko. And the key was the speed Senko all day. I mean, that was my big bite bait that got me to fishing championship Saturday, which is never a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned quite a bit about that body of water, and you know, I can only have good things to say about it, but being able to fish that bait slow on the bottom, I think was the big difference, and throwing it in places that you wouldn't ordinarily think about. Because I watched one of the guys I was fishing with throwing a bait kind of to the outside of some individual reeds that weren't in the main concentrations of them, and he got bumped a couple of times, and I'm like, that makes sense. The bass have definitely pulled out. So I started throwing open water, and then I found a couple of humps, and you just kind of feel them and read the bottom with it. And about the 3rd cast over top of that one rock, bang, that's that 3-pounder. And then about 5 casts later, it was bang, there's that 7.2. And that was the deal maker for me. It was just, I think, being able to do something different about that. And you want different, you got to do different.
Looking back, what would you do differently?
Leave a lot of tackle at home for starters. Try not to have any preconceived notions about Okeechobee in Florida, everything that you've read about, because those lakes are as susceptible to weather fronts, probably more so than any other area, because Florida carries some stable, warm water most of the time. And trying not to lock myself into any particular pattern and force a bite that just wasn't there. And back home, if I'm fun fishing, if I'm not getting bit on something in 10, 15 minutes and I've got 0 action, I'm changing. Something's different. You know, I know if I caught them like that yesterday, something's different today. What's making that different? And being able to dissect that. So I think that would be one of the things that I would definitely do different, is look a lot harder at what I didn't get done on day 1 to try to make those adjustments for day 2 and make them sooner and be more disciplined about it.
There you have it, guys. You have, well, the elephant in the room, but what is your story and your relationship with MillerTech?
MillerTech, I came across these through a very good friend of mine, Tim Horton. When was working a show in Columbus, Ohio, and I got to meet and hang out with the guys, and I was actually needing new power for my boat, and I was able to get a set of MillerTechs in there, and then a very good friend of mine also, Mr. Dean Yoder, introduced me to them. And if I have a product that I use and I believe in, whether I'm sponsored by them, Pro Staff or whatnot, I'm definitely going to tell some folks about it. And our relationship has become mutually stronger with their support in me, and then me being able to come here and work shows and do things like that, and becoming just partnering with them, even in the smallest sense, was phenomenal. At my age, you pretty much have one shot at doing this the right way. So you try to surround yourself with great people, great products, and something that you're happy to put your name on. And the other thing is they have to believe in you.
Yes, 100%.
And if you're sitting here, and this is whether you're new in this sport or not, take this to heart. If you are going to represent a company in any fashion, do it out of genuine knowledge, love, and support for that product. You can't fake it, because people will see right through that. If I know Miller Tech, I run them, I use them, I know their story, had conversations with them on the phone, talked to Dean at length, and with this company and their business model and what they do and their warranty and their level of customer service, which is par excellence, it's phenomenal. I'm truly blessed to be a part of it. I really am. So when I have an opportunity to do my part, and that is give back that term in the industry, ROI, return on investment. If they're going to invest in me, I'm going to give them back 150%. And I do that with any of them. With any of the companies that I'm dealing with, I give them back, or try to give back, more than they give me. And I just think that's how it needs to be done, because there's 10,000 other people out there that would love to be where I am. And if anybody thinks I'm not grateful for that, they're sadly mistaken, because I thank God every day for the doors that's been open for me, opportunities to chase this little green and brown fish all over the place, and the people who've helped me do that.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a very grateful heart in doing that. I'm thankful. You know, my family is my biggest supporter. Am I where I ever wanted to be? Not as high as I wanted to go, but nobody's going to have more fun trying to get there than me. And when I have people like Miller Tech, you know, it just makes that job so much easier. You know, I get to represent a brand that is known nationally, and with those great people there, you know, you can't say enough good things about them. You know, whether you're getting a 40 amp hour 12 volt battery, or you're getting a 60 amp hour 36 volt battery, their warranty, their customer service, they can meet and match anything that you need to do in your DC power industry. So
awesome stuff. So what do you have coming up the rest of the year? What's your next big event?
My next big event is I am fishing a series that's going to carry me to Virginia and the Potomac River a lot. I'm going to be doing a national qualifier up at Lake Champlain later in the summer. I'll be spending a week up there, which is probably in the north is one of my, hands down, my favorite. I love Lake Champlain, and I've had a good measure of success up there. Those fish are so much fun to catch, and it's a mixed bag lake. You know, you can largemouth, smallmouth, and you've actually got, if the wind blows up, you've got some protected areas that you can safely fish and still do well.
It's one of the few pure mixed bag lakes that there are. Like, I mean, honestly, like as we're talking, I'm trying to think, there's not a lot of them in the United States that you have a solid chance of winning with a mixed bag. It's very rare.
I have a video I posted a while back. I weighed in, I think it was like 19 pounds, and I had a dead fish penalty. Still trying to figure that one out, because that 4-pounder broke my heart. I hate having a fish die, especially a smallmouth.
Yeah.
Their growing season is so short, and it takes them so long to get that mature age. You try to take care of these fish as much as possible, but that was a mixed bag for me that day. You know, I had largemouth and smallmouth. I had a largemouth that was a little over 5 pounds. And from that place, you don't never know. You know, and a name you're probably familiar with, Mr. Nick Hatfield. I fished with Nick up there, 7, 8 years ago.
Wow.
It's been a while. And that was a memorable day. The man taught me a lot. I mean, yeah, I'm about twice his age or more again, but I had a ball fishing with that guy. And we hopped over on the Vermont side, and both of us were just pegging big largemouth out of the grass. And, you know, it was just laughing and cutting up. You just don't ask for a better day. You know, you're culling out smallmouth with largemouth, and, you know, it was very memorable. And then to watch Nick move on up to the level of success that he had, which after fishing with him, I knew wasn't going to take him very long. You know, he's a solid guy.
No, that's awesome stuff. When it comes to batteries, trolling motor wise, what should people be looking for if they're running a 36-volt trolling motor?
Probably how much you're actually going to stand on your trolling motor and your style of fishing. Me, I run the Power Pole Move trolling motor. Run a pair of the 36-volt, 60 amp hour batteries in it, and being able to trust that I can lean on that thing through the anchor mode, or move long stretches if I'm power fishing or whatever the case is, knowing that I've got enough power in reserve. And the beautiful thing about a lithium battery is it's going to give you every piece of power it's got until it doesn't. And I have yet to get into a situation where I can kill these batteries. I've fished some of the windiest days. I fished a tournament down on Bugs last year, and I really got to the point where I could barely hold on to my waypoints, but my batteries never failed me. And I had my motor sitting on about 65% most of the day, just trying to hold and maintain. And when you're out there, you got so many things that you're trying to focus on. And when you have your power that you know is going to be there, that's one less thing you've got to worry about, be it for the 12-volt system or your 36. So one of the things that you got to look for is your amp hours, what you're actually going to need. And the folks at Miller Tech, if you have a problem and say, look, you know, I only fish a small tournament here and there on a Tuesday night, or, hey, you know what, I'm fishing a full series this year, but I'm leaning on my trolling motor a lot. A simple phone call to them will help you figure all of that out, and they can help you design the system that you need based on that. And they will not try to oversell you on batteries just to make a sale. They're going to give you what you have to have and make it work.
Right on, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. I mean, I really appreciate it. Again, if people want to follow you, or if there are any sponsors you want to shout out, please do so.
Well, you know, if you can see the top ones right here, you know, I've got a big shout out to Rapid Fishing Solutions, Yamamoto Baits, let's see, Willow Oak Lodge, you know, and Phoenix Rods. I mean, the whole gambit that I have on my jerseys is people who believe and support me and have supported my high school team that I coached in the past. And I thank you guys so much for all of that support and the love that y'all show. And if anybody needs, or you have an interest in a battery, hit me up on my social media. It's Rick Williams. I have a YouTube channel, which is going to be, it's called Beyond My Bow, numbers 214. And that is going to be more of a how-to channel, and not just a, hey, come watch me catch fish channel. I'm going to be showing a lot of folks how to do certain things, maintain your ride, your boat, and just in general things that you need to do to make your ride safer and better and your time on the water more productive. So, you know, I'm surrounded by good people. I try to do right by them. And you know what? That recipe seems to be working.
It always does. Treat other people good, and it'll always come back to you.
And that's what I love. I call this my fishing family. And that's exactly what it is. I mean, you'll have people that will reach out to you that you never know that you have affected or touched and that have followed you. But if you need something, they're there for you. And if they need you, you're there for them. And that's what I love about the sport. There's no politics, there's no hate, there's no nothing. It's just love for our sport, and we support each other. That's what I love it. It doesn't get any better than that.
That's why we do it.
That's exactly why we do it.
It really is. Sir, I mean, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you, everyone that had joined me all day long, over 8 hours of streaming. This will be, of course, re-uploaded later on. I'll polish it up and throw up some better audio. And we will see you Sunday morning, bright and early, for day 2 of the Augusta County Show and Expo.